there. Welcome back to my channel. I hope that you are doing well, which will be this evening now. I thought I would pop back on for one last video for this evening and share some interesting stories in regards to, well, lawsuits. Um, what else we got? Petitions and backlash. Yeah, apparently the Scandoval saga continues. So now, if you watch Bravo's Vanderpump Rules, then you will know that the saga scandal and the cheating scandal itself was heard around the world. And when it was advertised everywhere. And I say advertised like it's a commercial, but that's exactly what it felt like. It was everywhere, in the news, in the blogs. It was everywhere. It just exploded. So for those of you who may not normally watch Vanderpump Rules and you're listening in to this and watching this video, basically we are talking about Tom Sandoval, Ariana Monax, and Rachel used to be Raquel Levies, and I think she also did another name change to Rocky. Not sure, but we're going to go ahead and go whatever name choice is in these sharings. And it seems like Rachel it seems to be the bet to go. But basically, this was a scandal that rocked all of Vanderpump Rules. In a nutshell, the blonde here, Ariana and Tom Sandoval, actually were an item for about 9.5 to 10 years on the Vanderpump Rules show. So they were very much intertwined. They lived together, shared just about everything together, lived as if they were a married couple for all intents and purposes. Now, Raquel, she actually was the good friend that came on as a girlfriend to James, who was another main character on the show. And they were together for about a good 5 years, I believe. They also were engaged at some point, but they pretty much ended that engagement very famously on the show at one of the reunions. I want to say that was probably season 9 reunion, which was really, really unfortunate and shocking in a way for that to occur. Now, there is a group of individuals, whole cast of friends. They're all in everybody's business. They're all very good friends. And at the end of the day, you might as well call them family. So the scandal was that apparently Raquel or Rachel, one of the brunette, actually had an affair with Tom Sandoval. Okay. And everything blew up in season 10 of Vanderpump Rules. It was quite of an astronomical detriment, I think, to the show, because it led into more content, if you will, and storyline for season 11, but I'm not sure where we're going in season 12 or if there will be a season 12. So that is to be continued. So one might ask, well, why was this such a big deal? Well, that's a really good question, because I myself don't know either. There's a lot of cheating that happens within that show. Many people have swapped partners that were in long-term relationships prior. And there is even some issues in regards to exactly when and how and the circumstances in which Tom and Ariana actually had gotten together. Was he still with his previous girlfriend or was he not? So, depending on what side of the coin you're on for that. By the way, him and his previous girlfriend, which I cannot think of her name right at the moment, are really good friends. Her and Ariana is. Go figure. So, of course, Ariana's heart was completely broken by this tragic event of being cheated on by her main squeeze and his friend, who was really a good friend to her as well. And so everything blew up. At this point, we go into season 11, and Rachel has gotten herself moved away from the show. I believe she does podcasting now. There's been obviously conversation about her throughout the season 11, as far as things that have been shared out in the ether, that is social media, about the situation and her feelings about the situation. Now, she did also go and get herself checked out for mental health and had a mental health stay at a mental health facility in order to kind of really just, get therapy for how she was feeling and what she felt contributed to her being in a position to cheat with her friend on her really good friend. So that's where we're pretty much at in the sum. There's a whole lot of in between in there. If you want to get actually more information, of course, I'm sure there's so many places that you can find it at. But I did do a recap review under the live tab for the season 10 reunions. I did recap and review season 11. I don't really know why, but I didn't. But season 10 has all of the juicy juice and the play-by-play, basically, of what took place that regarded the Scandoval. So if you need a refresher, that's a good place to go and take a look as well. So that brings us to now. Now, at this point, the show is in hiatus. We are waiting to see if there will be a season 12. Quite frankly, the powers that be felt like there needed to be a bit of a break because things had gotten so intense at the reunion for this past season. Everybody just needed to take a step back. So I think that was probably really good. Plus, some of or most of the cast members have other obligations and commitments with other types of shows or acts or anything they're doing, hosting gigs and such. So this kind of fits in for that to take place. And then we'll see what happens with Vanderpump Rules, if we'll get a season 12 or not. My guess is going to be a lot of revamping because at this point, I don't know where we go from as far as that Scandoval situation and the remnants of it. So we'll just have to see. So in addition to that, there has been lawsuits flying. And as we all know, famously, that Rachel had apparently was suing Sheena for a minute, which is another cast member on the show, but that has now since been dropped and we have moved on from that particular lawsuit. But now there's other lawsuits happening, and this one is in particular to Rachel is apparently suing Ariana and Tom, okay, the person that came in between the couple with the boyfriend's help, of course. She's suing them for P exposure, and that's POR, and you can guess the rest. Now, of course, we're on YouTube, so there's certain things we want to be careful of, certain words that need to be changed. So when I say P whatever, then you'll know what I'm talking about. POR, you know the net. So we're going to get into that. I've got a few sharings to cover. And like I said, we're going to talk about the lawsuits. We're going to talk about, because there's been a lot going back and forth in regards to this particular situation with this lawsuit and who is suing who and who isn't suing who. So we're going to get to all of it in this video sharing. So definitely this is one of those ones you kind of sit back, relax. If you have a cup of anything you like, a glass of anything you like, grab a snack and just go ahead and just listen to the story. And then definitely make sure you leave your respectable thoughts down in the comment section below, because I'm going to be sharing my thoughts as I go along, sharing with you about these stories. So the first one we're going to get into is the point that the judge apparently makes a decision on the Scandoval lawsuit, which is the original first lawsuit, right? So this is sharing is coming from Collider.com, and the big picture of this particular article is that Rachel Levy's lawsuit against Ariana Madix and Tom Sandoval is set for trial on November 3rd, 2025. Levy's accused Sandoval of recording explicit videos without consent and Madix of sharing them. The judge has ruled that Madix's actions are not protected by the anti-SLAPP statute and may constitute revenge P. OR, you know the rest. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into this sharing. And just a sec. All right, so Rachel here, Levy's lawsuit against her former Vanderpump Rules co-stars Ariana and Tom has taken another turn. Despite Madix and Sandoval's multiple attempts to have the case thrown out, the judge has officially set them to go on trial on November 3rd, 2025. This means that the proceedings in the infamous legal battle involving Levy's and her ex-best friend and her which would be Madix, right? And her former boyfriend, which would be Tom Sandoval, but really were they boyfriend and girlfriend, or were they just, concubines? I don't know. Which is also being referred to as Scandoval, is officially moving forward. All right. So now Levy's filed the case back in February of 2024 against her co-stars for claims of revenge P, eavesdropping, invasion of privacy, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. This lawsuit claims that Sandoval recorded explicit videos of himself and Levy's without her knowledge or consent. And if that wasn't bad enough, Ariana obtained and shared at least 2 clips of that footage without permission. This is what she's alleging. Now, Maddox has denied distributing the videos and filed a motion in April of 2024 to dismiss the lawsuit under the anti-SLAPP statute, which safeguards free speech in California. However, at a hearing on July 11, 2024, LA Superior Court Judge Daniel Crowley clarified that Maddox's actions were not protected by the anti-SLAPP statute. This means that what Rachel Levy's claims she did was illegal according to the law. The plot thickens. Now, in May of 2024, People reported that Levy's had officially been granted the ability to move forward with her lawsuit against Sandoval and Maddox. However, the outlet also reported that Tom Sandoval was fighting back. He claimed that Levy's had filmed the videos herself, then shared them voluntarily after Maddox found out about their cheating. Maddox and Sandoval had been together for 9 years before calling it quits when his affair with Levy's was made public. Their sneaky romance went on for 6 months, while Maddox had no idea that the 2 people she cared the most about in the world were betraying her. However, after all this drama and with the judge's latest ruling, Levy's attorney, Brian Friedman, finally expressed that his satisfaction with the court's decision. While speaking the deadline, Friedman had declared that Maddox does not have a free speech right to break into her boyfriend's phone, let alone do it to steal compromising videos of another woman. The attorney added that Maddox's anger toward Rachel after the cheating scandal cannot justify her actions, which have violated multiple criminal laws. Friedman shared that Maddox's actions clearly constitute revenge P. Not just that, but he also thinks that the only reason Maddox did all of this was to terrorize Levy's, to put her on notice that Miss Maddox knows about the affair and hates her. However, while the judge gave weight to Levy's claims of revenge P, he ruled that she needs to submit more evidence to prove that Sandoval had inflicted emotional distress upon her. Oh my goodness. I mean, it's just getting more and more salacious and more intertwined as time goes on. My goodness, this happened in 2023. And now the fact that they're going to have to actually go to court in November 2025, a whole year plus, regarding this situation, when clearly all parties have now moved on, it's going to be quite a show to see. And so we're going to probably be in for the long haul right now at this point, unless something changes regarding this case. So let's go ahead and move on to the next sharing. Now, according to page 6, Tom Sandoval now is saying that he's suing Ariana Maddox for accessing the explicit Rachel Levy's videos without permission. Now, again, remember, I'm going to interchange Raquel and Rachel because it's the same person as the sharing goes. Now, the fallout from Scandoval is still going strong. More than 1 year after Ariana Maddox broke up with Tom Sandoval over his affair with Rachel, he is suing Maddox. This is what this particular sharing is stating. Now, Sandoval accused his ex-girlfriend of obtaining access to explicit videos of Levy's on his phone without authorization or permission. US Weekly have previously reported this. Now, Tom Sandoval is, of course, suing Ariana Maddox. He accuses his ex of accessing the intimate photos on his phone and copying and distributing the footage of an intimate FaceTime call from his phone. This is what he's accusing, apparently, according to this sharing, Ariana with. Now, the singer alleged that the Dancing with the Stars alum made copies of the footage and distributed them to the Levy's and third parties, according to court docs obtained by the outlet. Now, Sandoval, 42 years old, claimed that this took place on March 1st, 2023. At the time, Maddox had discovered the TomTom co-founder's month-long affair with Levy's 29 after seeing an intimate FaceTime video on his cell, which Levy's later claimed he filmed without her consent. His lawsuit comes 4 months after Levy sued him and Maddox. which was the previous sharing I just shared with you. And Sandoval's lawyers called his latest legal action a cross complaint. So the scandal made headlines 2 days later, as I kind of ran through a little bit in the beginning of this video. The drama played out on season 10 of Vanderpump Rules and continued to be a main topic of discussion as the cast filmed season 11 without levies. In the May finale, Maddox, 39, refused an apology from her ex, saying he doesn't deserve to speak to her and doesn't get access to her. Maddox's lawyers labeled it an abhorrent attempt to torture her. She and Sandoval had dated from 2014 to 2023. Now, the Love Island USA host lawyer Jordan Sussman called Sandoval's lawsuit an abhorrent attempt to torture her and shirk responsibility for the effects of his action in a statement on Wednesday. Now, Ms. Maddox is confident that a jury will see through this latest ploy and dismiss his frivolous claims, the attorney had told Page Six. Now, Sandoval's lawyer issued a response on Wednesday labeling his actions as a cross complaint against the lawsuit levies filed against him and Maddox earlier that year. Matthew Garagos told US Weekly this customary legal action was crucial to ensure that liability, if any, is fairly distributed based on the actual level of involvement and fault of each party. We aim to resolve this legal dispute with utmost respect towards all parties involved. Now, they broke up over this months-long affair with levies. Tom and Ariana did. And Maddox was close friends with the former pageant queen at the time. Now, in February, levies accused her former friends of Revenge P, which I just shared with that a second ago, eavesdropping, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and invasion of privacy. Levies had claimed that Maddox messaged her two screen recording videos and a text that said, "You're dead to me," which left the former pageant queen terrified her co-star would leak the videos online. After the affair went viral, she sought treatment at a mental health facility in Arizona. The betrayal played out, of course, on season 10, Vanderpump Rules, and it continued to be a top discussion in season 11. Now, her court filing pointed out the public recognition and professional opportunity her fellow cast members received in the wake of the scandal, noting that she remains a shell of herself, her former self that is, with career prospects stunted and her reputation in tatters. Although Sandoval had filed to dismiss the lawsuit in April, a Los Angeles judge granted the Rachel Goes Rogue podcast host the right to continue suing him. Now, Maddox, for her part, has denied the claims and called them an abuse of the legal process. And if you would recall, during the actual lawsuit that Rachel had initially with Sheena, that's kind of what was being alluded to during that time frame as well, is that there was a use of legal action being taken. Of course, all things alleged, but that is what was being shared at that time. So it sounds like a bit of that take is taking place within this particular lawsuit as well. Now, I find it interesting when we talk about lawsuits, and we're not going to get into this one too much more details other than just for mentioning purposes, that, Ariana and Tom are already dealing with a court situation in regards to the house that they both were living in, had bought together most recently. I want to say it was probably in 2020. And now, of course, they're looking to get a resolve to that situation, which has landed them in court for that as well. Tom initially wanting to actually try to buy out Ariana, and Ariana saying it's not going to be just that easy. Of course, she also, in her pain, and understandably so, because this was her home with him, they bought together. She just didn't feel right, obviously, about leaving the home and just kind of having to pack up everything after he did the betrayal and leave him with the house, right? So where she had to go and find her own place and do all those things. And that's totally understandable. She was upset and angry. And at this way, and at the rate it looked like, is that possibly he would just move Rachel right on in. And how messy, if it wasn't messy enough, could that have been, right? It's almost like, you're just literally replacing Ariana with this individual. And that's interesting take, because James, as I mentioned earlier, was a fiance and boyfriend, and the one responsible for bringing Rachel onto the show, I add, at least from what I can see. She felt that his new girlfriend now, Allie, who we all seem to love very much, I think she's a lovely person, Rachel felt and had stated that it's like she just replaced me with her. So it's interesting how we're removing chess pieces around the board for this coupling. But so that's one thing going on, and now this. So it's just a lot happening here, So definitely be leaving your thoughts about what you feel thus far about these lawsuits, and just kind of the parameters of which they're talking about. The anti-slap thing, I think that was real important to kind of specify and talk about. The free speech situation is an issue, and it did not feel like it applied to this particular case for Ariana. So, and I think what comes into play with that is because it's not just about the free speech concept, obviously. It's about the distributing and all of those things, if those things, the alleged distributing and all those things took place. So, of course, all things are definitely alleged until they, play themselves out in court. So let's go ahead and move on to the next sharing. And that now goes into page 6, coming back with a new story right after this previous one I just went through, basically saying that Tom Sandoval deactivates his Instagram after suing ex Ariana Madix, and fans bash him on Barr's account instead. So let me just get back here for just a quick second, because I did a bit of a jump that I wasn't trying to do. There we go. All right, so now we're moving on to this one, where it basically shares that apparently he's lowering the bar yet again. So when the information had gotten out that it appeared that Tom was suing Ariana this last go around, the fans were literally in a frenzy, totally upset, and couldn't believe it. So here's a sharing associated with that. Tom Sandoval had deactivated his Instagram shortly after suing ex-girlfriend Ariana Madix for accessing the explicit video of Rachel that led to their relationship's demise. But his defunct account didn't stop the Bravo sphere from trolling him through other means online. Sandoval's Instagram went cold early Wednesday of last week, making it impossible for Vanderpump Rules fans to react to the shocking lawsuit via his personal page. Now, Tom Sandoval was ripped to shreds after he had left Instagram amid his new lawsuit against Ariana. Sandoval sued his ex for accessing again the explicit video of Raquel Leviss from his phone, and of course, the distributing from that therefore on. Now, instead, the fandom flocked to the official Instagram account for the Los Angeles-based bar he co-owns with his co-star Tom Schwartz and Sandy's. Tom Sandoval is suing Ariana now. Are you kidding me? Fire that scumbag now. He is the lowest of the low, and I will not spend $1 at your establishment if it will go to that trash bag, one angry person commented on the bar's latest post. Now, imagine being poor co-owner Greg Morris and just trying to run a bar while Tom Sandoval is actively lowering the bar in so many ways, like suing your ex for finding out you were cheating a second row. Now, Sandoval was dragged by Vanderpump Rules fans for the ongoing lawsuits, and of course, they reiterate some of the things that were said to him. So, and also at stake, Team Ariana Forever. This is a new low, even for you. Another person had wrote. Now, won't sell the house and is now suing Ariana. So remember that was also the issue that's in court as well. Schwartz knocks some sense into your mate before he takes you all down with him, a third user wrote, referring to the home Sandoval and Madix shared before and during his cheating scandal. Team Ariana Forever. This is a new low even for you. Cancel the Toms, cancel Tom, and cancel Schwartz and Sandy's. A Madix supporter suggested mentioning Schwartz and Sandy's or Scandoval's other bar in West Hollywood, California. Leave her alone, another begged, referring to the Chicago actress. You said you would, you put her through enough. Now, some people called on the public to boycott the establishment he co-owns with Tom Schwartz. So here we go again with the reverberating of what took place the first go round when the actual scandal had broke. Now, others called the reality TV star simply a clown. Sandoval wants to be Ariana and can't help but be a small boy and terrorize her for his bad choices. Have the day you deserve wherever you are, Tom, another wrote in all caps. Others resorted to low blow name calling and dubbed Sandoval disgusting and a true garbage human and a clown. In the lawsuit, Sandoval had 42, again accused Madix 39 of obtaining access to explicit clips of Leviss on his phone without his permission. This was also shared in U.S. Weekly. Now, Maddox had dumped Sandoval after finding the explicit video on his phone on March 1st, 2023, and Levy's claimed Sandoval recorded her without her permission. The cover band frontman claimed Maddox made copies of the footage and distributed them to Levy's and the third parties, according to court documents. The events unfolded on March 1st, 2023, when Maddox had learned of Scandoval's months-long affair with the co-star Levy's, and when she found out that the NSFW FaceTime recording was on his phone. Now, Maddox has swiftly ended their 9-year relationship after Sandoval's headline making transgressions, which fans dubbed Scandoval, which is where we are today. Now, Maddox, nicely at this point, is now dating Daniel Way, and she seems extremely happy with him, and I'm very happy for her. The cover band singer has been seeing model Victoria Lee Robinson, which I believe we're going to be talking about her a little bit later on as well. Now, the drama had played out on seasons 10 and 11, as we have already discussed, of the reality show, despite Levy's not returning to the series for the latter. So basically, she came, saw, and took off. Now, the former pageant queen previously claimed Sandoval had filmed her without her consent and sued him. We've gone through all of that and all the reasons why she was suing him. And now, amid all the madness, Maddox has found love with, again, boyfriend Daniel Way, while Sandoval is, again, dating Victoria, which we've already covered that as well. So, yeah, I mean, it's just the hits keep on coming, right? The hits keep on hitting. At this point, it just seems like it's just a mess of something, and the LA court system is probably very overrun as it is, and to have this involved, it's just, I don't know where we see season 12, if and when that should ever come to pass. Where are they going to go? I kind of feel like if season 12 does come back, we're going to see some new cast members, and some of the ones that were maybe here before may not be here beyond. But let's go ahead and keep on going. So we are now moving into our next sharing, and that is apparently a turnabout fair play situation came to pass. Now, according to usmagazine.com, after the last sharings that I just shared with you, it's sharing that Tom Sandoval claims he's in no way suing Ariana Maddox and fires his attorney, apparently. He says, "I had no ill will." All right, we get into this one. Now, Tom Sandoval has broken his silence after US Weekly had exclusively revealed that he was suing Ariana Maddox over assessing explicit videos of Raquel. Now, Sandoval, they say 40 here, but 42 on the other share, and I believe he is 40. Well, either one, claimed in an Instagram statement on Thursday, July 18th, that he didn't intentionally file a lawsuit against Maddox. Late Tuesday afternoon, he says, "My attorney, Matt Garagos, who advice I trusted, called me about the cross complaint and the lawsuit against myself and Ariana," he wrote. "He assured me that the action was customary and strictly preventative in these types of lawsuits and urged me to agree to it." And of course, if you remember 2 sharings ago, that basically the lawyer Matt Garagos was sharing, or that it was a way of being able to ensure that everybody was equally or evenly distributed, with the actions associated. So maybe so everything wouldn't be piled onto one person, that it would effectively go to each one as far as who did what and not be all on one person, his client. So he further says, "He assured me that the action was customary and strictly preventative, and that's why he agreed to it." Now, Sandoval alleged the words "new lawsuit" or "suing" were not articulated to him. However, he confessed, "I should have done more of my due diligence on the matter." And I would agree, because I'm sitting here thinking to myself, who's putting are you saying that someone actually put something on your behalf and you weren't aware about it? Okay. Now, the Vanderpump Rules star revealed that after he realized what this action actually means, he says, "I've removed Matt Garagos from my legal team." Matt is the brother of Levy's attorney, Mark Garagos. What an interesting connection. Now, Sandoval declared, "In no way am I suing Ariana. The action against Ariana brought on my behalf is being removed. I had no ill will or vindictiveness toward Ariana." He concluded, "Now, by removing both the cross complaint and the attorney who recommended it, I hope to get through this case quickly so that Ariana and I can both finally move on with our lives." U.S. broke the claims on Tuesday, apparently July 16th, that Sandoval had filed the paperwork, claimed that Maddox obtained the access, and we went through all of those things as far as what he claims that she did accessing the pictures and then doing what she made to it and doing it without his permission. Now, it further says that in the filing, Sandoval alleged that Maddox, who called off their 9-year relationship in the wake of Scandoval, made the copies of the video and distributed them to all third parties, again, without his knowledge. Now, Maddox's attorney, Jordan Sussman, responded to Sandoval's claims in a statement to us on Tuesday, saying, "It is abhorrent that Tom Sandoval continues to torment Ms. Maddox," which is what it looked like, and that's what the fans were responding to. He says, "From engaging in an illicit affair that shattered her home and stability, 2 months of emotional warfare, and now this attempt to further shirk personal responsibility for the effects his actions have had on her and her emotional well-being." Okay, that's just gone too far, right? The statement that continued that Tom Sandoval knows full well what sort of privileges he and Ms. Maddox shared in regard to their personal communication devices. If he or his mistress had their way, it would be illegal for someone to discover their spouse or significant other was having an affair. Maddox's legal team maintained her innocence in the matter, concluding that Ms. Maddox is confident that a jury will see through this latest ploy and dismiss these frivolous claims. Now, Sandoval's now former attorney, Matt, responded with his own statement on Wednesday, July 18th, and he says at the time, he said that while Sandoval accepts responsibility for his affair, he strongly denies the allegations of the lawsuit filed by Rachel against him and Ms. Maddox. Now, Levy's have previously filed her own lawsuit, as we know, against Sandoval and Maddox, which is the one that's still going on and will take place in November as their first hearing in regards to, I guess, the trial starting for that case in 2025. Now, we've already went down the list of things that it's already stated, so they're just repeating that. Now, Sandoval had apparently, again, countersued Levy's in April and requested that her lawsuit be dismissed. So he was trying to address that. It wasn't going anywhere. Then the next step was apparently this counterpart type of suing that he's now dropped as well. So now for Maddox, for her part, filed a countersuit against Levy that same month, claiming that Levy was hoping to punish and blame Ms. Maddox for the negative reaction she had received as a result of her affair. Now, Maddox's legal team argued in their filing that the Love Island USA host learned about Sandoval's affair in the worst possible way when she came across a video from him and Levy's having phone sex. She insisted she never shared the found footage with anyone but Levy. Sandoval's attorney told us on Wednesday that his ongoing legal battle with Levy's is what led to his new filing directed toward Maddox. Now, in order to ensure a fair and just determination of responsibility among all parties involved, that's why the cross complaint was apparently filed. He also did further just, goes to the fact that it was customary, and he thought it was in his best interest to do. Now, he further says that they aim to resolve the legal dispute with the utmost respect towards all parties involved. But now that Matt Garagos is not on the case, that is not happening. Looks like we are now standing firm with just the actual initial case, as well as the request dismissal, apparently, from Ariana, since that seems to be out there too. So I guess we'll maybe get some more information, or, at the point that the first one that we talked about, the fact that the case is going through, that dismissal went away, right? Because the judge made the ruling that, no, we're not going to dismiss, we're going to keep moving forward. So that would leave, just that one initial lawsuit from Rachel to both Ariana and Tom standing at the moment. So at this point, it looks like he has gotten rid of that, he being Tom, which was, good for him, I'm sure. Okay, so let's see. We are going to now move on to apparently fans now making a petition to ban Tom Sandoval from Bravo's show. So we went from the uproar of how dare he decide to try to sue Ariana to him coming out and saying, no, I didn't sue her. And by the way, let me shut down my Instagram for a moment, to now fans saying all together, we're done with this foolishness. Let's just go ahead and just call it all and you can just go. Thank you for your services, Tom Sandoval. So let's go ahead and get into the sharing from Calder.com. Apparently, fans had made a petition to ban Sandoval from the Bravo show. The big picture of this sharing said Tam Sandoval's cheating scandal and subsequent actions have left fans disappointed, sparking a petition to ban him from Bravo's network. Sandoval backtracked on his most recent lawsuit, which was discovered against Ariana Maddox, claiming his lawyer advised him poorly. Now, viewers believe that Bravo should remove Sandoval to maintain integrity and respect towards its audience. So here we go. Let's get into this. Tom Sandoval has been on the outs by fans of Vanderpump Rules ever since the season 10 finale, when it was revealed that Sandoval was cheating on his live-in girlfriend, Ariana Madix, with her friend Rachel Levies. Since the blow-up, season 11 of the show stands as a Scandoval apology tour, with many of the cast wanting Madix to get over the event that had taken place only a few months before. The situation had left a bad taste in everyone's mouth, and now things have gotten worse since Sandoval sued Madix and then quickly dropped the lawsuit and blamed others for it, which there seems to be a bit of a, what is that, what they call a pattern there, blaming others for the actions of themselves. Now, fans of Bravo have made a petition asking for Sandoval to be banned from the network, titled "Discontinue Tom Sandoval's Participation in all of Bravo's Programming." The petition states that Sandoval's image doesn't match that of the network as it currently stands. Bravo Network has been a platform offering numerous reality shows that are loved and appreciated by millions of viewers worldwide. And the petition says it goes to say that Sandoval is a disappointment to fans of the network. Tom Sandoval, one of the participants in Bravo shows, and unfortunately has been a continuous cause of disappointment for the audience. The organizer goes on to cite reasons why Sandoval should be removed from the network. Let's get into that. Reasons cited include offensive comments, disrespectful behavior, and filing the lawsuit in order to harass Ariana. The viewers believe that keeping him on the network sends the wrong message and continues to contribute towards normalizing such behavior, which is not what reality television should promote. Based on collective viewer feedback, we urge Bravo to terminate Sandoval's involvement in its current and future shows to maintain the network's integrity and respect in the eyes of its dedicated audience. Do the right thing and respect your viewers' opinion. Sign this petition to remove Tom Sandoval from Bravo's shows. Oh, goodness gracious. Vanderpump Rules Tom Sandoval backtracks on the lawsuit. Of course, Sandoval had claimed that his lawyer, as shared previously, that the cross complaint, he didn't really understand the full gamut of what that meant and had dropped it since. So that's what he did. But apparently for the fans, that wasn't enough, as it says, that it still wasn't enough for fans who want him off the network, because the petition apparently took place, I guess, after he dropped the situation. They want it done, they want it over, they want it out. Now, here's the interesting situation when it comes to this petition, because I don't think I've ever seen a petition or heard of a petition on any Bravo show. And there's been a lot of people on Bravo who've done some things, some just quietly were removed or whatever the case may be, but have I never seen a petition? So I'm curious, if you watch Vanderpump Rules, would you sign this petition, or would you boycott the show even if they do continue, regardless of this petition, to keep Tom on Vanderpump Rules? Would you continue watching? I would want to know. Me personally, I would probably still watch, I believe, if I found that, whatever storylines that was going on was interesting of me to watch. But the petition, boy, that's saying a statement. That definitely is saying a statement. So let's go ahead and move on to our next sharing, which is our final sharing in this video in regards to the Scandoval saga. Now, it further states that usmagazine.com has now got a point in where Tom's girlfriend, Victoria, apparently has entered the chat. Now, Tom Sandoval's girlfriend, Victoria, addresses her lawsuit against Ariana Madix and why they left social media. So now she would like to let us know what was the real, I guess, and why they went this route. So let's go ahead and get into it, shall we? Now, Tom Sandoval's girlfriend, Victoria Lee Robinson, explained why they both deleted their social media amid the reality star's lawsuit against ex Ariana Madix. We both deactivated our Instagrams once he found out about the filing and what it really meant, Robinson 32 wrote via Instagram comment, which she then screenshotted and shared to her story. We both were shocked and did not want hate and criticism from the public on something when we needed to focus on fixing it immediately without any distraction, she discontinued. I said discontinued. I know that's what happens with Instagram, I guess. She continued. So he made a statement knowing he was going to activate his Instagram once it was finished and the issue was resolved before the backlash came in. Hopefully everyone understands. Now, US Weekly, of course, they share broke the news regarding the lawsuit and everything. Getting the right word assigned to that. based off the scandal, right? Based off of him cheating on Ariana. Now, shortly after the lawsuits were filed, both Scandoval and Robinson had exited social media and deactivated their Instagram accounts. They further shared in this sharing that, of course, the lawyers felt that what Tom did initially with putting out the filing was just, horrific and just another way to kind of get back at Ariana. So that is pretty much shared continuously on that. Of course, in this sharing, it also continues with Sandoval, basically letting them know again, I did not mean to sue Ariana. And I am no way going to do that. So that's basically it for that part in the entering of the chat for Miss Victoria. Just wanted to let us all know that, hey, look, we just wanted to go ahead and deactivate what's going on because we knew the onslaught of backlash was coming and we didn't want to deal with the hate. So therefore, we were going to just go ahead and exit stage left, handle the situation, and then we'll come back. Hopefully you guys will be a little bit more warmed to them than you are prior to. Now, one of the things that was very famously also added to what was going on about the Scandoval situation is, of course, a lot of fans were not just going to the Instagram pages, but they were going to actual businesses and leaving different types of comments and ratings and all that kind of stuff. So it really blew up, and a lot of the businesses that Tom was involved with, really, it spilled over into those areas. So of course, Tom Schwartz, we hear quite a bit of in the sharings because one, not only their best friends, they're castmates, and they also are business partners. And so everything that happened with Tom really did muddle over into Tom Schwartz. And it was a doozy. So to have an upswing of that to occur again, I'm wondering if there's at some point where Tom Schwartz may just say, you know what, I think I'm out on this one. I think we need to go ahead and sever. We can still stay friends, but working together and being business partners is becoming detrimental to my situation. And I got nothing to do with it. And look, at the end of the day, I think he's finally got to a point in a place now that him and Ariana are kind of mending their relationship because, at the end of the day, Ariana didn't want nothing to do with anybody who was going to still deal with Tom. She wasn't going to split hairs. And I can understand how she feels on that. You feel betrayed. You are betrayed. You don't know who to trust. You had a best friend who was part of the group who slept with your man. And then, you're supposed to just be okay with everybody. I don't know about that. And also because we know that Tom did know a little bit more than what he was letting on that he knew. And that didn't sit well for her either, because even though Tom and Tom were really good friends, best friends even before Ariana got onto the show and before their relationship, he was part of their situation as a couple as well. And so she felt some way about that. And that's understandable. So I would love to know your thoughts about the lawsuits here, the lawsuits there, dismissing the lawsuits, petitions flying everywhere, Instagram accounts being deactivated and hopefully reactivated. Just all the hoopla that is Scandoval, because apparently the saga does seem to want to continue. And I definitely would like to know if you are a Vanderpump watcher, if you would continue to watch the show if Tom Scandoval is still on the show. Or would you be one of those people who actually signed a petition? I mean, look, you can't go wrong either way. We all feel how we feel about the situation. It was a sucky situation. Oh, it was so nasty. And it really does contribute to why it blew up so much, because, it was all of the trappings of a real salacious, horrific way being cheated on by your man and your best friend. Really, or your good friend, or whatever she wanted to call her. But they were really close friends, did everything together, lots of things, including each other's man. But that being said, and not each other's man, one man, because James had nothing to do with this. And, he was blindsided. And the only thing that was great for James is he was able to find his lovely girlfriend, Allie, and been removed from the situation by the way of the breakup, between him and Raquel before this all blew up. But, he still was affected by it, because at the end of the day, I'm thinking too, well, did you always have feelings for him? So I think at some point Rachel had shared that, probably part of the reason why she did what she did was that, she was so distraught about her breakup with James, maybe felt like she wasn't as over it as she thought she was, and maybe she thought it would make her feel better. So, of course, all things are alleged in all of this right now. All we know is what we are seeing on the show and maybe what a few other articles may share, but all things alleged, of course. I definitely would love to know your thoughts. I appreciate you being here for this sharing. I told you this is going to be one of those messy ones that you can really sit back and just listen to the shenanigans of the show. And definitely leave your respectful comments down below. I would love to be able to connect with you in that way. So, of course, if you are new here, have not gotten a chance to subscribe yet, I hope that you will consider to subscribe, be part of the family, as I would so love to have you. And if you enjoyed the video, I hope that you will give it a like as well. I would so appreciate it. And of course, I appreciate you being here. So, with that, I think I'm going to wrap it up. Have a wonderful evening or day whenever you're actually seeing this video. But definitely take care, be blessed, and until next time, bye.